everybody. Happy Monday. Here we are once again with another movie review.
Yeah.
This one is one that I saw a few times back in the day, because this was on cable all the time back in the early to mid 80s.
I was seeing it at the same time. I was a couple years older.
Yeah.
I saw this. I must have seen this bitch fucking 100 times and didn't remember most of it and probably didn't watch it all every time. You know what I mean? How shouldn't you just leave things playing in the background? But I remembered every single scene from this movie, and there's certain aspects of it I don't quite understand, but...
I'd kind of be interested to read the book but I'd been wanting to revisit this movie just because it was one that I kind of remembered from back then. But for a long time, you could only get it like on a pay thing, and I was like, well, I don't really know if I want to pay for it. But then this weekend, I was going on Tubi, and Tubi had just added it, and it was free. And I was like, woohoo, like, well, I'll just watch this then.
Yeah.
So this is based on a Whitley Strieber novel, who's the same guy that wrote Communion, you know, with the anal probing aliens.
He's a lunatic.
How dare you?
Yeah.
That guy.
Whitley Strieber, now it makes sense.
He also wrote, although this book, which is called The Wolfen, came out in 1979. That was before Communion. He also wrote the book that The Hunger was based on, and The Hunger is one of my favorite vampire movies of all time.
Yeah.
So I can't shit on him too hard, but he is crazy. But he is crazy.
Which that explains why there's a lot that I didn't quite get about this. It's a well-made movie. It's got some decent special effects. It has some good ideas. If you haven't seen it, it's worth watching. But it's a police procedural. I don't really like police procedurals. And there's a lot of banter in the movie that isn't quite relative to the story. Even though it's interesting banter, the acting's pretty good in it. The characters are pretty good.
Got hair in my mouth.
But I still haven't figured out what kind of wolves these are.
They're
are they supernatural? Did the security company make them?
They are supernatural, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they pretty clearly explain that later on. The only thing I don't understand about this is the security company and how that tied in. But we'll get into that in a second.
I thought they were made by the security company.
No.
Okay.
They've been around for like tens of thousands of years. That's what the Native American guy said.
Yeah, well, I didn't know if they knew what they were talking about, though.
No, they did.
Okay.
Because they were definitely supernatural.
Okay.
Camp Guy says this one with the girl werewolf that's a news babe.
No.
That is The Howling.
The Howling. That's a different movie.
Which actually came out... Here's the crazy part. This movie came out not that long after The Howling, and only about a month before An American Werewolf in London. Both of those movies did a lot better than this one. I think this one only made $11 million.
The Howling, in many ways, is a better movie.
We actually watched The Howling after this.
Yeah.
Like Saturday night, because we went out Friday night, so we didn't go out Saturday night, so we did like a sort of a werewolf, because it's not really a werewolf movie, but we did a sort of werewolf double feature. So yeah, I watched this, and then I rewatched The Howling. And yeah, I will say The Howling is a better... I don't know.
It's more straightforward.
It's a more straightforward horror film than this one.
Movie to watch.
I mean, neither of them are nearly as good as An American Werewolf in London, which is a stone cold classic.
Well, even Dog Soldiers.
Or even Dog Soldiers.
Actually, Ginger Snaps.
Yeah, again, those are also fucking good.
Yeah.
And this movie, technically, there's wolves in it, but it's not a werewolf movie because no one is shape-shifting into a werewolf.
No, there's no werewolves in it.
They're like wolf spirits.
Yeah.
Kinda. Like it's an indigenous, like a Native American thing.
Yeah.
Which is actually kind of a cool idea. Like I said, it was kind of an original take on a werewolf kind of story. And it's really interesting how they decided to cross-pollinate it with a police procedural set in, New York City when it was especially like where they shot like a lot of it in the South Bronx, which back then was just like a complete shithole.
It was post-apocalyptic.
Yeah. So they shot a lot of it there. Some of the stuff they built, like the church and stuff, they built that for the movie. But a lot of the buildings and shit like that, they didn't have to do a fucking thing. They just kind of filmed around South Bronx. It doesn't look like that anymore. But
I will say that the special effects are pretty good. When I saw this on old fucking television, it wasn't HD, you couldn't really get a crisp image on those old televisions. It just looked like wolves. But when you see them in HD or maybe like on the big screen, in higher definition, they're kind of fucking enhanced, fucking blurry, burning kind of wolves. There's no
their eyes kind of glow.
Their eyes glow, and it's like radiating energy and hatred from them. You know,
and they're super intelligent. Yeah. And at one point near the end of the movie, spoiler alert for a movie this old, they disappear. Like they just vanish into thin air.
Yeah, they can dematerialize, I guess. But I thought it was just, when I first saw this as a kid, I thought they were just taking kind of like artistic license.
No.
I still, there was this security company fucking tease going on, and I thought they were somehow working, they were inventions of the security company, like Silver Shamrock. You know, that's
right.
What I that was
like they made them. And
yeah, that's, you know, I was a kid when I saw it. And I saw the fucking Halloween 3, and I was like, "Oh yeah, the evil company must have made them." That was what I could.
Well, because I thought the implication was, and I don't know if I'm just a dummy or if it's because I'm usually pretty good at like picking shit up in movies, and I have not read this book. I did read The Hunger and I did read Communion, but I have not read this Whitley Strieber novel, unfortunately. And probably I should, because
there's probably more to it.
There's probably a lot more lore in there, like because they do have to kind of skip over. And this movie is not short; it's like almost 2 hours, so. You know, they do cover a lot of ground, but I do kind of feel like, because there were all of these scenes with what appeared to be a security company, and I thought that they were making these wolf attacks, like they were putting shit out on the news, making it seem like it was terrorists.
Yeah.
Like, isn't that, like, they were putting out, they were making up news, like, oh, that looks good. I thought that was what the implication was. So then I was like, well, they didn't make the wolves, like, if we believe... you know, the one guy played by Edward James Olmos who said about the wolves. So if you believe him and they've been around all this time, then obviously the company didn't make them. So I was like, so does the company know about them, but they don't want anybody else to know about them?
Were they trying to capture them? I don't know.
Are they trying to capture them and use them as a weapon?
Yeah, there was something
or
about
something.
That
I thought that there was something like that going on in there, but it seemed a little underdeveloped. Unless I'm just pulling that out of my ass, I'm not entirely sure.
See, there's a bunch of Native American guys. They were in a bar, weren't they?
Yeah.
And the investigators ran into them, and they seemed to know all about them. They said that, oh yeah, they go way back with our people, you know, thousands of years. They were our hunting partners, type of deal. You know what I mean? It's like
the wolf spirits, the Wolfen. That's
wolf
what they were called.
Spirits, and that, you know, they'd give offerings to them. They had a relationship,
and everything was in balance.
It was in balance, and y'all white man came
and
here,
we came and fucked everything up,
and then now they're pissed. You know what I mean?
Sorry.
But the thing is that I always took that part. As a kid, I took that part of the story as kind of like bullshit. Like, those guys don't know what they're talking about.
I think why they said, because he said all that, like, all serious, like, they told him this story, and then they're like, "Peh, you don't believe all that shit,
you don't believe anything."
But I think they were really, like, legit. I think that was true.
Right.
And they were just kind of, like, fucking with him, I think, is how I read that scene. I'm not really sure.
You could interpret it a couple different ways. It was one of their legends, and they didn't believe it, evidently.
Or they were telling him they didn't believe it.
Yeah.
Tammy says, this movie had a message about man encroaching on nature and then getting pissed when nature fights back. Yeah, that's definitely what it was, because the whole thing about the Wolfen, they do actually make implications that this is happening other places too, like other cities, but it's mainly set in New York City. And basically they're saying, you know, the smarter Wolfen, you know, when man started to encroach and build shit over their hunting grounds and stuff like that, a lot of them just went underground, and now they prey on, you know, the weak or people that no one will miss or anything like that, like homeless people or whatever. But how people first started hearing about this at the very beginning of the movie, and actually what is a good opening scene, is there's a really wealthy dude named Philip Vanderveer, who's like some big muckety muck in the city. Him and his wife and his bodyguard / chauffeur person, they're at Battery Park, and they get attacked by what you don't actually, they don't show the wolves until almost the very end of the movie. Like, you know what it is, obviously, because the movie is called Wolfen, so duh, it's wolves. But they don't actually show the wolves to the end. So they kind of show everything in like wolf cam, with like that posterized view, which actually, that was, I believe, kind of the first time that had been done, at least as an in-camera effect, and that was a big influence on like Predator.
Yeah, they kind of see thermal.
Yeah.
Or infrared, in their infrared spectrum, so they, you know, their vision's a little bit different. It's kind of fisheye. It's down low to the ground, but you know, they're spirits, so. You'd think that their vision could be anywhere at any time. I guess maybe it was. I don't know.
Well, I thought that was the implication, and I thought that was why they were
kind of materialized.
There were so many shots from their POV.
Yeah,
is because they were kind of everywhere.
Yeah, and people didn't always see them from their POV.
That's what I'm thinking.
Weird.
So it's like these people get horribly murdered, like just torn apart. Like her head gets mostly torn off.
Biting hands off.
The dude was trying to like the bodyguard like pulled out a gun to shoot at it, and like they just went shoo and like took his hand off, and the gun was still in it.
Yeah, single chop his hand off, just single bite. Oh.
And so everyone was like, because this was a big rich guy, people were like, well, is it terrorists or is it some political motive or some shit like that? But then they're like, man, I don't know. It kind of looks like. They could tell that there were no knife wounds or anything like that, and they said it kind of looked like an animal attack, but they couldn't fucking figure out what was going on. So they bring this guy named Dewey, who is a police detective, and it's kind of one of those situations where I don't know if he was retired or if he was kind of on the outs or something like that, but they're like, hey, we decided to bring him in because he's works on all the weird shit, and this is like a weird case. And Albert Finney plays him, and he's actually great in this. He's a British actor, I believe, but he plays an American in this one, and he does a pretty good job. Like, you can kind of tell the accent every now and then, but I didn't really mind that too much. So they bring him in to try and figure out what's going on. I will say, do you know who fucking steals this movie? Gregory Hines. Gregory Hines is in this movie playing like the coroner, the medical examiner, and he is delightful.
The black guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's delightful. I always liked him anyway, in movies and stuff, because I know he started out as a dancer, but he was like in a lot of movies in the 80s. And he is so fucking good in this. Every single scene he's in, he just steals the scene.
No offense to any of the actors in the movie. It's like when he shows up, he's the only one with a personality. Everybody else is just, they're kind of boring and kind of flat.
Yeah, or just kind of like hangdog. Like, it's just kind of like, man, fuck this shit.
See what it is? I don't know what the name of that character was he's playing. Do you remember the name of that character? The coroner guy?
What was his name?
He's in the movie kind of take the place for the everyman.
Yeah.
He's just like, God damn, you see this crazy shit? This shit's crazy. It's all that kind of stuff. He's kind of like, he's kind of like some, black dude you'd see in the fucking late 70s or early 80s at the discotheque.
Whittington, that's right. His last name was Whittington because Dewey called him Whit.
Like, say, Jack, that's a bad outfit.
Yeah, it's like that
he's
kind
like
of
one of those kind of guys,
But yeah, he's super good in this.
Slightly doing slight jive talk, but he was trying to talk sense to these white folks. What's all this shit with these wolves? You know what I mean? That kind of stuff.
Well, he was like kind of trying to get to the bottom of the investigation because he knew something weird was going on.
Yeah,
and he was like kind of interested.
You know what I mean? Believe it.
So he just like
he was coming up with theories that he was like, that shit's amazing. You know what I mean? And it was cool. He's the only one that had like a personality in the movie. The characters, I think, were kind of dull. This movie's worth seeing, but I didn't really like this movie. It really, with a few tweaks, this could have been a really great movie, but it wasn't. It was a miss. Could have been a lot better with just a few changes. It just wasn't very satisfying. It was too much police procedural, not enough action, and those damn monsters weren't scary enough.
Well, I kind of feel like I'm usually a big advocate of not showing your monster much. But in this case, I think they waited too long
to reveal it.
To reveal them, because it was literally the end. Because honestly, the end scene of this, like where they get surrounded by the Wolfen and like that dude gets his head torn off and all that, that's great.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it should have been wall to wall that. But there should have been like more of that.
This movie failed because it was not an action movie and it wasn't a horror movie. It should have had a lot more action and a lot more horror in it.
Yeah, like I said,
it was too tame.
It
was too suspenseful. It's more like a thriller, a police procedural thriller. I think what they were trying to do is they were trying to do something kind of Italian, but it didn't. Because a lot of Italian horror movies were kind of like police procedurals, but then they would show you some wild shit.
Well, yeah, a lot of Giallos were like that.
Yeah, kind of like a Giallo. It was kind of like that, but not quite. The Italians were more insane with it. You know what I mean?
This had some gore.
Yeah.
But it was kind of few and far between. It was mostly, like I said, it's definitely not a werewolf movie because they're not werewolves. They're basically just wolves. They're like magical, kind of. But
wolf spirits.
But they're, yeah.
And they could have made it as good as a werewolf movie had they really leaned into that and made it a little more intense. Showed more of them. And showed them doing shit that, they wouldn't show. Usually they might show a couple of wolves, but one wolf would do all the damage. The other ones just kind of run around. They should have shown it with a whole bunch of them tearing people apart. But I guess there was limitations at the time. They didn't have CG.
Yeah.
They couldn't really do the animation, that would look good. Maybe I would have not even used real wolves. Maybe I would have used kind of like cartoon wolves. But you do them in a way kind of like, in Conan 1, where where Valeria's fighting off the jinn who were trying to take Conan into the afterlife. Mm-hmm. They got the little devil. I would have maybe done something like that. Wolves that were painted on you know what I mean? Like a fully animated wolf.
Yeah, I don't know.
That way there was nothing solid. It was a ghost-like thing.
That might have been okay. If it was done good. Yeah. But in 1981, I'm not really sure.
You'd have to do it right, and
how that would
it'd have to be real gory.
Because I will note that The Howling, which, like I said, came out not too long before this, and had special effects by Rob Bottin, who also did The Thing. The werewolves in that look really cool, but there are a couple scenes in that are animated. Did you remember that? I had totally forgotten about that.
What movie was this again?
The Howling. The one scene where where Dee Wallace's husband goes and has sex with the hot werewolf chick.
Oh yeah. He becomes animated. He
at the end, it's like they both turn into wolves, and then there's a little bit of animated for a couple seconds.
It was stylish though. It was just
I thought that was kind of cool. I just forgot that was in there, and I was like, oh look, it's a cartoon for a second. That's pretty weird.
You could do that sometimes if you were being fanciful. You know what I'm talking about? I don't think you were supposed to think that was real. I thought that was, I didn't. When they did, it was the same thing in the Conan. Those weren't real objects that they were fighting to try to keep Conan. You knew it was like ghostly apparitions, so they didn't have to look that real.
Yeah,
especially for the audience of the time. I think I would have done that with these wolves.
Done something more stylized. I would be kind of interested to see a remake of it, or another take on the novel.
Yeah, they would have been ghost wolves. They wouldn't have to look like a real wolf.
Now, Joseph Green says, my recollection of the novel, because he's read it, is that the wolves were not supernatural, just a previously unknown species of wolf with human-level intelligence and super wolf senses.
That makes sense.
And Tammy says, supposed to be wolves living in the abandoned parts of the city that start killing people, kind of to show that animals are sick of getting displaced by humans. Now, there definitely is that, but I think in this movie, there were a couple scenes where, particularly toward the end, where they all get surrounded by the Wolfen and they all jump on the cars. They showed a couple of them and their eyes were you know what I mean,
beaming out
and then at the end they were up in this apartment, and I'm pretty sure it was not on the first floor, and the wolves all came crashing in the windows, and I was like, well, how the fuck did they get up there? They can't fly. So they get in there, and then when the cops come rushing in, they all disappear. So I think the movie was trying to imply that they were actually supernatural, even though they acted mostly like real animals all the time. Although I don't think anybody hurt them when they shot at them or anything like that. Now I'm kind of curious to... I do want to read the book, though, because I'm kind of curious about the lore. Because I don't know... I like this movie, but I think that there's a lot more they could have done with it. It's a good idea. I like the idea of combining a police procedural, because I like police procedurals, actually, of combining that with a supernatural. It was almost like a Kolchak kind of thing. You know what I mean? That kind of vibe. So that can be done. It's just that I'm not sure. They took it seriously, which I appreciated. But I feel like maybe... I think, one, it could have been shorter. I don't think we needed quite as many scenes from the wolves' point of view. I think we got the point after a while. I know they thought it was neat that, they were using this new in-camera effect, So they used it a lot. And I was just kind of like, yeah, like, we know that's the wolves. That's the point of view. Yeah, you know what I mean? So it's like, I don't think they needed that. And I don't know. I just think it could have been punched up more. Yeah. Like, maybe just, honestly, probably just judicious editing. Because there were some great fucking scenes in this. There's a great scene, too, where, you know, Albert Finney's character, Dewey, like, obviously, he's, you know, a hardened, you know, grizzled New York cop or whatever, so he doesn't believe in supernatural bullshit. But as the crimes get weirder and weirder, he starts to think, maybe there is something, like, maybe the Native Americans that we were talking to, maybe they can shapeshift, you know what I mean? Because he was talking to this one guy about it. And, so, the one guy, who's played by Edward James Olmos, like, he kind of makes jokes about it. He's like, yeah, man, like, I could jump off this bridge and fly like an eagle. It's all in the mind, like, all this other kind of stuff. And as the shit goes on, he's like, maybe there's something to that. So he decides to follow him one night to see what he does. And, like, the guy, he goes out on this beach, and, like, he takes all his clothes off and starts running around like a wolf, like, licking out of a puddle and, like, running around and howling and stuff like that. But then he realizes, oh, he's not actually shape-shifting. He's just, like, you know, it's all in the mind. You know what I mean? And he's like, he was kind of half expecting him to turn into a wolf, but he didn't. And so then after a while, because he was thinking that dude was the killer, right? Like, he's shape-shifting into a werewolf. But then, like, as time goes on, like, he starts to realize that this is kind of a different thing going on. So I thought that was kind of funny. A funny, like, red herring that he thought that guy, like, for a minute, he thought that guy could actually shapeshift, like, into a werewolf. And he's like, nah, man, I can't really shapeshift. It's like, don't we wish? But yeah, so... yeah, it's a very, like I said, it's a really interesting premise. And I think I would be curious to see a modern take on this. But
it could be handled the right. It could be handled the right way.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with the story. Like I said, it's a cool story. I like that idea. But I think it just needed to be, even this, if it was edited down some and kind of punched up a little, like, I think this would actually be a lot better, and I think it would be, like, a lot more fondly remembered, maybe.
CG would help with a lot of stuff. The concept of a fucking spiritual wolf spirits.
Yeah.
That you could make that look pretty cool. But, you know, you couldn't do it back then. They tried. This is a pretty good attempt, and it failed at the box office. And people don't really remember this one that well.
I feel like this was on cable all the time. Yeah. This is like an early cable staple.
Yeah, it was just on cable all the time. I think they were just kind of using it as, like, horror filler.
Probably, yeah.
They probably got it cheap.
Yeah, maybe so.
It wasn't bad. It was a well-made movie. It had some good things about it. It's just the edit had a lot to do with this long, and it wasn't very exciting.
Yeah, Joseph said the movie reminds me of Richard Matheson's The Night Stalker. Yeah, that's what we were just talking about, which is a police procedural about a vampire. Yeah, that's what we were talking. Kind of, it gave me that Kolchak kind of vibe. But I mean, we just reviewed the whole Kolchak series not too long ago, and I reviewed the 2 Kolchak movies, like, over on my other channel. And I think the difference there was Kolchak, the character, and because it was a TV show, like, it didn't have, you know, it didn't have much fat in it. Yeah. Because it had to be kind of short and to the point.
You could easily cut 25 minutes out of this movie.
Yeah, this movie, I think, could be considerably shorter. Yeah. Because, as I said, because it's called Wolfen, you don't really need so much of, like, the mystery surrounding. It's like, oh, we found wolf hairs on the thing, and we're like, yes, it's a wolf. Like, we know there's wolves, you know what I mean? That it's right there in the title. So, you know, you can have some of that. And like I said, I like that they kind of introduce the mystery. It's like, oh, maybe Edward James almost really can shapeshift into a wolf, and maybe he is the killer. So I like that they kind of introduce that. But I don't know. I just feel like there's a really good idea, but it could have been streamlined is the word that I want. Yeah. I think they could have streamlined it some. And also, what was the deal with all the guys in the newsroom with all the TV screens? There was like 3 or 4 scenes of that. And there was one scene in particular where they were talking about that terrorist group, Gotterdammerung, and they were like, oh, when can we send this to the news or something like that? Like, saying that they had taken credit for the Vanderveer murders at the beginning, which were obviously wolves. So I'm like, so do these guys know about the Wolfen? And they're putting out, like, fake news stories, like, to cover for that?
No, it's just more confusing shit.
I didn't really. So I didn't really get that. Like maybe if I watched it again and like paid more attention, but I had the like closed captioning on and everything like that, so I don't think I missed any dialogue.
I think the problem with the movie is that it is not a very frightening premise. That's all it is. I mean, those monsters are not that scary, so they're just not that interesting. Maybe they were a little bit interesting back in those days than when the movie was made, but now this was just wolf spirits, nature fighting back. That's kind of tame compared to the kind of shit that sells now. That's not Terrifier or fucking this other shit that's out there now that does pretty well. Just don't think it would do well in the market.
It's almost kind of like a weird eco horror, which was very big in the 70s.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's eco horror. That's a good way of putting it. And I don't really think it didn't sell. It didn't even sell back then.
Yeah, and I mean, it probably suffered in comparison to The Howling and American Werewolf in London, which came out like right around the same time. If you were within the several months, you know.
If you had the money to make a movie like this, you could make a werewolf movie and do a lot better.
Yeah, like I said, I do like trying different things because you know, werewolf movies. There's lots of those. Yeah, you know, there's lots of vampire movies, so it's kind of cool to see somebody doing a different take on it, like doing something original with it.
Well, look how different Sugar Snaps was, or Ginger Snaps was. That was a werewolf movie, but there was no other werewolf movie like it. It was a great movie, and it was low budget. But it kind of,
you know, the thing about Ginger Snaps, and I think I mentioned this when we reviewed it, is like I can't believe that nobody, well, maybe somebody did before, but I'd never heard of it, was that I can't believe it took so long for somebody to tie in like a girl's period with werewolf stuff. I'm like, duh, you'd think that would be like a really obvious thing, but yeah.
It was just that they were girls, and they were werewolves.
Well, I mean, yeah, but it was the whole, like, going through puberty and, like, it was kind of like a puberty metaphor.
But it was, you know, they would just happen to be females. It was from the female point of view.
Yeah.
They're just fucking female fucking werewolves, you know. The male werewolves were the same. They were just a different gender.
Yeah, but like I said, I mean, the point of that just because of them being girls and going through puberty and stuff.
Yeah, the female take, you had two cute girls, two cute high school girls were the werewolves. That's a new take on it. And they were sympathetic. They were sisters. Becoming werewolves. Killing dudes and shit.
And I'm going to say that Whitley Strieber, like I said, I've only read a couple of his books. But I think it's interesting that he wrote this book, The Wolfen, which is kind of a different take on werewolves. And he also wrote The Hunger, which is a vampire novel and was made into a really good movie by Tony Scott in 1983. And that's a really different take on vampires, which I think was actually a lot more successful than this, because in that, the woman she's a vampire, but she's trying to find like a human companion, but there's this whole like scientific angle.
Like a virus kind of.
Like, well, no, it's not really a virus. It's that she tries to make human companions, but human and vampire blood isn't quite compatible. So her companions will stay alive for 200-300 years and then rapidly start aging.
But they don't die. Yeah.
But the shitty thing is, like, they just age and age and age, but they're still immortal.
I thought,
which is horrible.
Didn't you go to the doctor though and they said it was some kind of virus, and the monkeys had it?
No. That was Susan Sarandon was in the movie, and she was like a gerontologist. She was like studied aging, and it's not a virus. She thought he had progeria or however they pronounce it, which is rapid aging. Usually, sadly, like little kids get that. Yeah. But that's what he thought. That's what she thought it was, obviously, because the dude was like 30-something years old, and then he suddenly started getting really old, like over a couple of days. So that's what she thought that it was. She didn't think it was a virus.
Oh, okay, because I thought that monkey got it and it turned into a vampire.
That was some. The monkey wasn't anything. Okay. That wasn't to do with it.
I haven't seen it in so long, I forgot the details. I thought the monkey got some of that vampire virus in it. Remember, it killed the other monkey.
Yeah, well, they were doing like experiments on the monkey that weren't anything to do with the vampire.
Oh, okay, all right. I thought she was putting her stuff in there.
No. It was nothing like that. But yeah, so I really liked that take on a vampire, which I haven't really seen done in exactly that way before. Like, I think it's been done since then.
In Ginger Snaps, remember when she turned into that werewolf at the end? Would she turn back into a human eventually, or do you stay like that in that version?
Well, see, I thought in werewolf lore, usually
you return back, right?
you would turn back.
Yeah.
Because I thought, like, back in the day, like, from the Universal monster movies
like
and
temporary.
stuff like that, it's like, yeah, it was just when it was a full moon.
Yeah.
That's why it's kind of being a werewolf be super cool, because you could be, like, normal most of the time. And you could just wolf out, like, once a month or something.
I seem to remember in Ginger Snaps, though, it was a progression that she actually turned into a wolf and that she was going to stay like that.
I thought so, too.
Yeah.
Well, no, wait a minute.
Because remember, she got all hot and shit. She was starting to get real sexy.
Yeah, it was like.
And then she started growing hair on her back.
Right.
And getting, you know what I mean? And then she got real barrel-chested and then turned into a damn giant dog.
Yeah.
But it took days or weeks, didn't it?
Yeah, like, I don't remember how long it took.
I don't think she was going to turn back.
I thought that was the implication, that she wasn't going to turn back.
Yeah.
Which that seems to be the take that the new movie Wolfman that we just reviewed, that just came out this year, that we reviewed like a couple weeks back, that was kind of the take they took too, that it's like you get bit by a werewolf or scratched by a werewolf, you turn into, and you're just a werewolf. Like, you don't turn back into a person.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a newer...
That's against lore.
Yeah, because normally the lore is you just turn into a werewolf, like, sometimes.
And the lore's thousands of years old. It goes back to ancient Rome.
But then most of the time you're a human.
The oldest werewolf story I've heard of was a Roman story about a guy who was he was a Roman legionnaire. Oh, and it's somewhere in Europe. He might have even been in England. And he was on guard, and he got attacked by a wolf. And he cut the wolf's paw off. And it ran away, and he reported he got attacked by a wolf, and they had the paw. And the next day, one of the locals, or it might have been another soldier, I think one of the locals, turned up. A human with his arm missing had been cut off the day before, and they said he turned into a wolf. That's kind of remember.
I read an old story like that.
It was Roman. And I think that's where it started.
I read an old story like that, but it wasn't a werewolf. It was a giant cat.
Okay.
And
the sources I remember hearing,
and the paw got cut off, and then the guy found out that it was actually his wife, who was like a witch, and she was like a shapeshifter.
Okay. I mean, somebody. This is what I remember years ago. It was a Roman story. During the research that I did a long, long time ago, and it's, several thousand years old, and it was I think it was one of the Roman medical doctors, I think, who told this story in one of his books. He said that there was a disease out there where people turned into a wolf, and then they turned back.
Well, now there is.
I think it was a story some Roman doctor told, or it was in one of their medical books.
There is an actual disease that people get where they grow hair all over there, because some of the kids were in circuses and stuff.
Yeah,
I can't remember what the name of it is.
Yeah, I don't think that's what they're talking about though. I think it's a totally fabricated story.
Well,
that a doctor believed.
Well, yeah. Well, like I said, that story about somebody getting their paw or something cut off, and then they turn up and it's like, oh no, where's my arm? That's a very, very common trope.
Yeah.
Like in stories going back a long way.
Yeah.
Because I've read a lot of old stories.
Yeah,
like
and the story I heard that traces that trope to that particular story I just told you, the Roman soldier. So, but the thing is, I think it was in a medical manual from a couple thousand years ago. I don't think it was Galen. I don't think he was that old.
They just put whatever the fuck in there. They're just like, hey, I heard this cool ass story.
Yeah. Well, it's
not like they could check.
They believed in dog heads and fucking people with faces on their chests and shit fucking out in China.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
They believed all kinds of stuff.
So you can't really take their word for anything.
Yeah. Animals with two heads and stuff. They believed in that. And it would be in a supposedly scientific book from those eras, and it was all just based on rumor. Whoever writing the book, he's not lying. He's trying to be honest. It's just that he heard.
Yeah.
And it's well known that over there they got turtles the size of small islands. People living on them. That kind of shit.
My grandma's sister's hairdresser's dog told me.
We all know. We've all heard these stories forever. That's up. He'll give a general location where that is. He's never been there. It's just that's what they thought. That's what people said.
Well, that's still how urban legends get started.
Yeah.
Full Metal Nosferatu says, I almost rewatched Wolfen on Tubi recently. That's where we watched it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've been wanting to rewatch it for a long time, and then I just happened to go on Tubi, and I was like, there it was. Because for a long time, it's like it was just on. You either couldn't stream it, like it wasn't available, or you had to pay for it, and I was like, I don't really know if I want to pay to rent it. But then it was free.
It's not a bad movie. It's just a partial miss. It, with a few changes, it could have been a lot better, but it just missed. It didn't quite hit the mark.
DVD Dragon says, movie idea. Bodybuilders get a hold of Tren made from a secret government lab. Yeah. They transform at night into werewolves. Yeah. Gains by day, screams by night.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. You should work in Hollywood. You come up with the best shit.
Tren, a reality.
Tren wolves.
Yeah.
Let's get Asylum on the phone. They could probably do something. No,
that was on when I was.
They can knock out a movie in a couple of days, right?
When I was on Tren, man, I was totally vibing with fucking werewolves. I said, oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, hair growing on your back, fucking, all that fucking sexual aggression, wanting to fight, fucking being animalistic. Yeah, Tren.
Maybe that's what Dr. Jekyll was taking. That was his serum.
Well, I think they're talking about cocaine.
They were, yeah.
You know, now some of the later versions of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. One of the ones I heard about is that Dr. Jekyll he's experimenting with a very powerful pheromone that unleashes great abilities that can get you into a lot of trouble. You know, you become like basically a Superman, but an animalistic Superman.
Werewolf Superman.
Like a werewolf, yeah. Like you might
That's
be
another movie
you might be highly attractive to the women, but you might kill them when you're done with them. That kind of, it's that kind of weird shit.
Well,
that was great. Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde was evil. He didn't have any limits. It was cruel.
Wait, he beat that kid to death with a cane, didn't he? In the book.
Yeah, I've never read the book.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, okay.
Never read the book. I just know that
it's not long. It's not. It's like a novella. You could read it like in an hour or something.
Yeah, originally it's kind of a Victorian era fucking story. Originally they're talking about drug addiction. They're talking about dudes in bars fucking drinking a lot and fucking doing a lot of cocaine. They didn't snort cocaine though, they drank it.
Yeah.
They put it in wine and drank it.
Yeah.
And he slowly falls into sin, fast women and gambling and fighting and having fun and fucking getting in trouble, and that was Mr. Hyde. Fucking all those dirty whores. Yeah.
Getting syphilis.
And then sober it up and going back to your fucking medical practice like nothing had happened. Yeah, that's what...
It's kind of like every dude's dream. That's like, man, that's
I think that's how a lot of guys live.
They're just kind of like...
Or want to live.
They can act... Well, yeah, and I think... Well, my take on it, like when I read it, that obviously into the whole Victorian repression thing versus your untamed
Victorian repression is what they're talking about.
But I also kind of thought that he was kind of making a little bit of fun of like dudes that would kind of want to be into that, because it's like it's kind of like the perfect thing where you can have this squeaky clean respectable image over here, and then you can go out and go buck wild and no one will be the wiser. And some people are like, that's a really attractive idea, to people. So I think he was kind of slyly poking at that as well.
Me being fucking just cranked out on fucking Tren for almost 10 months? Man, I was on that shit way too long.
I don't know. I don't know. Like I
think
said,
it was like 10 months.
I don't know what the fuck was going on that whole time.
It was okay for about 4 months, and then you just slowly descend into insanity. You think you're fine though. But for me, it was kind of like William Dafoe's portrayal of the Goblin. You become kind of a split personality. It's weird. Fucking delusions of grandeur.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah. But the thing is, though, is you're extremely overconfident, but you can do a lot of the shit that you're talking about. You might get killed doing it, but you're fucking insane. It feels great, though. I love that shit. I loved it. But other people don't like it.
No, nobody else likes that. Not a single other person.
Now, Tren has been around for a long time, since the 60s. That's where stories of roid rage come from. Pretty sure they're talking about Tren. It was not approved for human use. So all this stuff about the combat performance drugs, you know what I mean, that the goblins taking and shit. They're taking steroids that weren't approved for human use. It's only used for veterinary stuff. Cattle. They give it to cattle. And because who cares if a fucking cow is insane? It can't do anything.
He's a mad cow.
Fucking they're gonna slaughter it anyway. So it's just that's some bad shit. Everybody, the regulars of this show love me telling us trans stories every now and then, but don't do it. It's not worth it. You don't get any bigger on trend than you would on anything else. And it's not approved for human use. It was made for humans originally, but then when they saw how fucking crazy that shit made you, they pulled it from the market. The company that made it pulled it. They're like, oh, sorry. Yeah, don't take
our bad.
And it's another real exotic. It's just one of the esters of nandrolone. That's all it is. It's just a nandrolone ester. It should be like the other ones. It should be like NPP, but it isn't. There's something about what it does to you. You become kind of like the goblin. Or Venom, maybe. Nah, Venom was more good humored. Venom wasn't that evil. More like a goblin. Yeah, pretty weird.
Full Metal Nosferatu says the 1970 musical Scrooge was my introduction to Albert Finney as a kid. This is the second movie I'd ever seen with him. Yeah, I remember that Scrooge. I will watch any version of A Christmas Carol. Yeah. I'm just really into that story. I like all the ghosts and shit. George C. Scott probably still my favorite. But Albert Finney was really good, too. Actually, no, the Muppet one might be my favorite. The Muppet one's really good. He also says, have y'all seen that Ridley Scott is directing a new adaptation of Jekyll and Hyde with Johnny Depp? Huh. That might be worth watching. Maybe. Or it might be a shit show. I'm not sure. It could go either way.
It might be worth seeing it as a shit show.
True. If it's enough of a shit show.
I really like Johnny Depp as fucking... what was the musical that he did with the fucking...
what you call it?
Where they were eating people.
Yeah.
Demon Barber of Fleet Street. What's it called?
Sweeney
Todd.
Sweeney Todd.
Yeah, he was a great villain in that.
Yeah, I like Sweeney Todd. Yeah. I saw that in the theater actually. Right.
Yeah, good musical.
Stardog said, "Will you all be reviewing The Long Walk? It's been generating some good buzz. I do want to see that because I know Tammy is excited about it because man, she's been talking forever that somebody should make a movie adaptation of that fucking Stephen King story, and someone finally did. It does look good from the trailer. I mean, I'll probably go to the movies and see it maybe. I still haven't gone to the movie theater and seen some of the other newer ones that I wanted to see, but just haven't got around to it.
We've been so busy. We had all kinds of shit happening. Fucking money. I got to go see my uncle in about a week or so.
Yeah, like not
about 3 days.
Yeah, I think in not the next show.
Yeah.
But maybe the one after.
Yeah, I won't be here.
Yeah, he's gonna go see his cousin
and my uncle
and his uncle.
Yeah.
For a couple of days.
Yeah.
It's like the same.
It's birthday.
Yeah, like for his 80th birthday. Like it's like a couple of days before my birthday, but I think he'll be gone. Like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
And they got a Harley Softail.
And then he's coming because my birthday's on Friday, and he's coming.
They got like a 2006 Harley. I think a 2002 or 2006. I don't remember what year it was. Harley Softail Deuce. They want to sell me. They want me to ride it and shit. They only want $3,000 for it, but man, I had to put it on my credit card. But I was just like, man, I don't want to go back into. I do want a Harley, but I got 2 motorcycles already, and then I got a third one over here that fucking I can get back into and start rebuilding that one again. It's RD350. It's about half done. But, motorcycles. I like motorcycles.
Yep.
It's like an addiction in a way.
Yeah, because you've been like, that's all you've been doing is talking about that the last couple weeks.
Yeah, it comes and goes. Comes and goes.
Joseph said, do you remember the movie Rage with George C. Scott? It's a movie about a rancher who is poisoned by the army. I think I might have seen that a long time ago, because that sounds very familiar.
Sound familiar to me, yeah.
But I don't know. I'll write that down because
it's poisoned by the army.
I'll watch anything with George C. Scott in it. He's awesome. He also says, Full Metal Nosferatu says, speaking of Christmas and werewolves, I watched the low-budget comedy horror Werewolf Santa.
One that I'll
probably watch that for a bit. Oh, we watched another movie that we'll either review it next week. We were thinking about just maybe popping on at a different time and like doing a movie review of it, but I don't know. We'll see how that goes, like how the schedule is and stuff. Or we might do it next week. We watched another movie that kept popping up on Amazon Prime. It's a very independent, like it's just like a group of friends made it, and it's only 45 minutes long, but it was delightful. It's not exactly a so bad it's good, but they deliberately made it as an homage to like 50s and 60s monster movies. But it kind of has a Mars Attacks vibe to it. What was it called? Explorer from Another World?
Yeah.
So we might review that one too, because I had a hell of a time with that one.
It's pretty good. It's short.
Yeah, like I said, it's only 45 minutes.
Fan-made, and it looks good. It's like some of the Mars Attacks.
Yeah, that's kind of the closest thing I can think of. Yeah. It kind of reminded me, the look of it reminded me of Mars Attacks.
Made.
But,
and it knows what it is.
Yeah.
Now, there's been 2 movies I remembered a couple weeks ago, and now I just remembered them again that I wanted to see. I wanted to see some action movies when I was a kid. I remember seeing them. I don't remember where I saw them, though. I think my dad took me to see them in the fucking drive-in when I was a little kid. One of them was called Walking Tall.
Oh, I remember. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember much about it.
Buford T. Pusser?
Yeah, I don't remember much about it.
Wasn't what's his face in that was in
I just remember that
Final Justice and Mitchell.
I just
and
remember
all that.
seeing it fucking and thought that shit was cool as shit. It's been a long time ago. And another one I remember was a kung fu movie with a dude with a black hat. I think it was called Billy Jack.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I just watched the riff tracks of that a couple months ago.
Yeah. How bad is that movie?
It's pretty bad. Well,
pretty bad?
It's not bad. It's just cringy.
Crazy? Yeah.
It's just real cringy.
I'd like to see the fucking original fucking cut. I remember there was some nudity in it.
Yeah.
But they probably didn't see it in the fucking. They probably didn't show
No,
it.
they don't cut them on riff tracks anymore because they don't have to. They're not. It's not on broadcast TV.
Oh yeah, maybe I'll see the riff
TV.
tracks version of it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I just watched it not too long ago.
Wasn't he like an army ranger who was like an American Indian and he knew fucking karate? That's kind of how I remember it.
Yeah, something like that.
He was out in the woods and he was fighting some guys and trying to help some kids or something. I don't remember what
yeah, it was all very heartwarming.
Yeah, I remember it.
It's like
it was early 70s shit.
It was early 70s and shit.
Yeah.
Joseph says, have you been watching Alien Earth on Hulu?
Yeah.
Yes, we have.
It's pretty good.
It's actually pretty good.
Good, yeah.
We're kind of getting into it. Yeah, we usually watch it Tuesday nights when the new one comes out.
I thought last week's episode, I think, was the best out of them all so far.
Because it was kind of like a prequel.
Showed what happened on that ship. That was pretty
like
good.
Before it crashed into Earth.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
I got this theory that the little octopus with the eyeball on it that's popping into people's skulls, it's intelligent. It tried to warn that woman that the fucking bugs were getting out. And I don't think it's bad. And it's just doing what it does. It can reanimate a dead body. Because remember, it didn't attack that woman. It just stood there.
Yeah, that's true.
It tried to speak.
Little eyeball.
And then the xenomorph came in and it attacked the xenomorph. It tried to get in the xenomorph.
Yeah.
But it couldn't do it. She'd had acid for blood. It didn't kill it though. It just couldn't find a place to get in.
Yeah. Because he's all like got that exoskeleton and whatnot.
I got a feeling though that the little octopus though isn't a bad creature. It's just that's just what its nature is.
Yeah.
It can take over a body, but it seemed to like try to communicate. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think it was hostile. Maybe it recognized. It must recognize. Oh, these are intelligent creatures. I guess it evolved fucking getting into shit that wasn't that intelligent.
I'd be interested to see where they're going with it.
Yeah. Well, they have these aliens, creatures, these specimens are trying to turn them into something.
Yeah.
Trying to see what they can do with them.
Stradog says the ultimate George C. Scott movie is Hardcore. Yeah. Did we review Hardcore?
Is that the porn one?
Yeah, that's what where his daughter was at. Turn it off! Turn it off!
Yeah, we reviewed that.
I'm pretty sure we reviewed that one.
That's some corny shit.
I love that movie.
George C. Scott walking around in tight jeans trying to pretend like he's cool. Hanging out with the hookers.
He is cool.
Yeah, he wasn't cool. There was nothing cool about it.
He's kind of cool in a different way.
George C. Scott is not...
It's a different kind of cool.
He's not street cool.
No, he's not street cool.
No.
It's a different, like I said, it's a different kind of cool. There's there's different kinds of cool.
Yeah.
He's a different kind of cool.
Jersey Scott needs to be in an office or in some kind of uniform or some kind of an authority figure. You don't want him just walking around in jeans and shit. He's not that kind of dude.
Don't walk around in jeans, Jersey Scott.
No.
You're not that kind
walk
of
around in jeans, fucking smiling, chewing gum and spitting and shit, fucking smoking cigarettes and shit.
Naswarachi says, Jenny, I know it ain't the holidays yet, but check out the cult classic Two Front Teeth from 2006, Vampire Elves and Ninja Nuns.
Oh, shit.
Oh, my God. Okay, yeah. I'm definitely going to write that down. That sounds awesome. Yeah, last night, I was kind of like... I want to watch something I've watched before, just for comfort's sake, but something I hadn't seen in a while. So we ended up doing a double feature. We rewatched Dead and Buried, which was written by the same guys that wrote Alien. Kind of a interesting take on a zombie movie, but not like shambling zombies. But yeah, it's kind of an original zombie type movie. And then I rewatched Stir of Echoes because I fucking love that movie.
Now Joseph's saying that the original Billy Jack movie, Born Losers, is pretty good. I didn't know that there was more than one.
Yeah.
How many Billy Jack's movies? I might have them fucking confused.
Well, yeah, the first one. I think the first one was called Born Losers, and I thought. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought the character was popular, so they made another one, right?
Okay, yeah.
Is that what happened?
Called Billy Jack.
I don't know.
Billy Jack, yeah.
Yeah, Straw Dog said Billy Jack was a Green Beret Vietnam vet battling Southern California bikers in Born Losers.
Oh, in Born Losers?
Yeah.
Okay. And what was he doing in Billy Jack? Is that a second part? Is that the second movie, or
yeah.
I have him confused?
Wasn't he defending?
Because I remember him fighting bikers.
Defending some orphans or some shit.
Yeah, because I remember fighting bikers and shit.
Wasn't there orphans in Billy Jack?
In the one that I saw.
Like I said, it was maybe more than a few months ago, but I'm pretty sure I watched the riff tracks of it not too long ago. But now I can't remember what happened in it. I'm getting it confused with like some of the other ones they did. Because I love when they do the 70s movies. I love that. Yeah. And the cheeseball 80s ones are fun.
And from what I remember, he fucking knew karate. And he had that fucking black hat.
It's the 70s. Yeah, everybody had to know karate.
Yeah.
It's the law.
Yeah.
All the movies had to have somebody that knew karate in it. It had to be in the contract. Yeah. You know what I mean? Oh my God. Side Quest Hero just got here. Hey, how are you? How are you? But yeah.
Yeah, you missed your show, Side Quest. We're about ready to close it down.
Oh my goodness. Oh, Tammy says Philip Seymour Hoffman's son is in The Long Walk. Oh shit, I didn't even know he had a son that was an actor. Well, just shows what I know, doesn't it? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We never get to the theater anymore. It's like so far. But I don't know. I do really want to see it though. But I still want to see.
Well, we could always. It'll be streaming before you know it.
Well, yeah. I still haven't even seen Bring Her Back, and everybody wants me to see Weapons.
Yeah.
Which I think is still at the theater. You can maybe stream it now, but it might still be like $20. I'm not really sure. But the thing about it is that even if you pay $20 to stream it, that's still cheaper than both of you going to see it at the movies.
And I think you purchase it. So I think you keep it. When
you like factor in the gas and all of that.
Yeah. And then the thing is, when you stream it, I think you purchase it.
Yeah.
And for the $20, you actually, I don't think it's a rental. I think if I remember correctly, on Amazon, you own it after that.
I'm not sure, but
yeah, I think that's a lot of them are like that. Maybe not all of them.
I mean, I do kind of like that they're like making them available much sooner nowadays. Remember back in the old days where like fucking a movie would come out in the theater and then you had to wait like 2 fucking years like for it to come out on VHS or whatever.
Yeah, well, movies aren't the commodities that they were, and fucking Hollywood's admitting that now. It says, well, it's not really a they said the products are not very popular. And because people don't want to, like you said, people don't want to spend all that money to go to fucking theater. I mean,
I like going to the theater, but it is kind of expensive.
It's too expensive, and really, it's most of the shit you see now is just some content on some fucking platform. So it's just a movie. That's not really a big deal. Video games dominate so much, and fucking YouTube and streaming and fucking TikTok is fucking dominates now. Hollywood's not the cool kids. Now there is a fucking upper echelon of some of those movies that are good. But really, I like the middle budget, like A24 movies, and you know, I think there's been more talent there than a lot of the tentpole movies. Like a lot of the superhero movies are shit. Most of them are shit now.
Stardog says Billy Jack was the orphanage. Okay, so I remember that right.
Okay.
And he said followed by Billy Jack Goes to Washington. Oh, I bet that one's a hoot.
So there's only 2 of them.
Well, no, there's 3 because there was Born Losers too.
Yeah, Born Losers, Billy Jack, and what's
Billy Jack Goes to Washington.
Billy Jack Goes to Washington. Oh shit!
I bet that one's really.
But that was terrible.
Oh, Full Metal Nosferatu says a huge thank you to Tom for recommending The Hand. It was so good I watched it 2 nights in a row.
Yeah,
I love that movie.
That's Oliver Stone, man.
That's a brilliant fucking movie.
It was Oliver Stone and John Milius worked together on that. Around the same time they were doing Conan. It's the fucking opposite of Conan. It's toxic masculinity versus fucking positive masculinity. And fucking The Hand is about toxic masculinity.
Big time.
Big time, yeah.
Wow, that dude is a giant douche nozzle.
Yeah, and was it psychic powers? Or did he have fucking RSPK? Did he have the fucking dark side of the Force? Or was it all a delusion? Was he really strangling people? Or was it the Hand?
I kind of think it was him.
Yeah, but that Hand strangled that woman while he was tied up.
It does, but they left like a little bit of plausible deniability.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so Joseph says there's 4 Billy Jack movies. Born Losers, Billy Jack, The Trial of Billy Jack, and Billy Jack Goes to Washington. Okay.
Did they progressively get worse?
So there's 4 of them.
Yeah.
Shows what I know. I only knew there was 2.
Yeah. I remember it was popular in the 70s.
Yeah, it was really big. I remember that.
It's probably like made for TV level shit though nowadays when you watch it.
SideQuest says, honestly, half the stuff I watch in movies I've seen recently that I liked was on Apple TV. Which, we didn't even have that.
Yeah. Oh, well, like that Alien Earth right now. Fucking, that's as good. That's better than what you would see in the movies.
Most of the
And
time.
then, what was it? That Alien Romulus, that came out in the theaters. But we didn't see it in the theater. We streamed it.
Yeah, we saw that later.
Yeah, and that was a great movie.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite movies of last year.
Yeah, that was a great movie. I wouldn't mind. I might own that. I'd go back and see if I own that.
It's on Hulu anyway.
Is it on Hulu?
Yeah. So.
Well, see, when I streamed it, I think I bought it.
Well, if it's on Hulu, you don't have to buy it. You
Right.
just watch it. But I'm pretty sure because Hulu has almost all the Alien movies.
Yeah, but that's got commercials.
Commercials, it does, yeah.
But just the thing is, when I streamed it, I think I bought it. So I could probably just go on Amazon and watch it for free.
Yeah, maybe. Let me see. I saw something else that I wanted to fucking. Full Metal Nosferatu says The Werewolf of Washington with Dean Stockwell is a hoot. I love Dean Stockwell. I'm gonna write that one down too. Werewolf of Washington. Yeah. We always get so far off topic. Oh well. What are you gonna do? All right. So you want to wrap it up?
Yeah, I gotta take a shower and get to sleep.
All right. So he's been out mowing the lawn in the heat today.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to wrap it up for this evening. Be sure to stop by on Wednesday for our regular show. We're doing another true crime one. We're actually going to be talking about the case of Dr. Sam Shepard, which was the case that inspired many things, but probably most famously inspired The Fugitive. His wife got murdered, and he got accused of it and in prison for it, but no one's really sure if he really did it or not. I don't know where I fall on it. I kind of wrote about it for my book, and I'm not sure. I mean, everybody that they accuse of it, I'm pretty sure is dead, so I guess it doesn't really matter at this point, but, I don't know if he really did it or if it was somebody else, but I don't know. We'll dive into it on Wednesday night, so hopefully you guys can join us for that, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this review. We will see you guys again on Wednesday night. Good night.